The subtitle of the book is 52 Small Steps to Happiness. I'm delighted to say Rachel's on the line now. Rachel, good afternoon to you.
Hi, hello.
Well, we've probably made you a little bit happier by playing that song, because obviously...
Yeah, I was, my feet were tapping actually. I mean, the song in a way represents a lot of the things which actually for me are actually small steps, because having a good dance and actually breaking a sweat, we know that's a good small step. It helps with anxiety and the way that, the arts can help us, and music. And so I'm feeling really slightly goosebumpy because I just love that song, and it just sums up so much of what I believe. So I thank you for playing it.
No, you're very welcome. I mean, how can we adapt what you've said in your book? Because you've sort of hit that thing like, Chicken Soup for the Soul and all those, self-improvement books over the years. Yours seems to be the one this Christmas that people are taking comfort from, if you like.
Oh gosh, well,
it's a big responsibility.
Kind of you to say so. I think if one person's helped, and I have had one or two really, really moving emails that suggest that. I mean, it does make me very happy. I mean, we know that trying to make a tiny difference to others does actually help us as well. I mean, I suppose that it's the fruits of a sort of lifetime in a way. I have had a 20-year journey. I've suffered very debilitating depression. I have recovered. I do feel myself to be calm and steady and grounded, and I sort of feel I've had to learn a lot along the way. And I think I've been very lucky because I run workshops for mental health charities, so I work with Mind and Depression Alliance. So it's sort of what's helped me, and it's a diary of my year. As you say, it's 52 small steps. So they're all very small, doable things that might just be tilts of the rudder, just make a difference in your day. And they are actually evidence-based as well, but also they reflect a sort of crowd sharing, because they reflect the work I do with my workshops. So we share in our workshops different things that we're all trying out, and hey, have you tried this, and what about that? And so they're very, very much grounded in people's real experience. So I feel in that way I'm just a sort of conduit for other people as well as, my own journey.
Yes, I mean, for you, at one point, you felt completely helpless. You couldn't get out of bed. You contemplated suicide and all that.
Yeah.
Well, when you're at that low an ebb, surely things like these little steps that you talk about, taking enjoyment out of art and dancing around a bit to Katrina and the Waves and all that.
Yeah.
That's not going to work, is it?
This isn't a book for someone suffering severe clinical depression, which I have suffered, and that's the case for doctors and psychiatrists, and this book's not about that. But what I do think is that depression is an illness that happens in a context. It is an illness. Something goes wrong with your brain, but it also happens in an environment. And what I think I've had to learn is that if I can learn to stay calm and grounded and less stressed, happiness can come on unexpectedly, and I can take pleasure in things. And so really a lot of the tips are about this business of trying to stay that little bit calmer, because my depression was born of sort of anxiety and overwhelm and worrying. So, I mean, as you say, dancing around, that sounds sort of, possibly not being serious about this, but actually I do feel deadly seriously that it is so important we look after our mental health. And what's encouraging is that there are things we can do to sort of help our minds. We know we've got to go to the gym to help our bodies, but there are things we can do to help our minds. And what I found is that you need a whole range of strategies. So what tends to happen is that there'll be a sort of magic bullet, it's the drugs or it's the talking therapies, or there's been a big wave now of mindfulness approaches. And actually what I find is that people work best with a kind of very holistic series of strategies. And they do really make a difference. I mean, some of the breathing exercises, they work. They help you be in the moment to be able to receive those moments of happiness, and they lower our stress levels, they lower our cortisol. And some of the philosophical approaches, we can really adjust how we think and how we look at things. So the one I love is, stumbling blocks can be stepping stones. Things that seem very dark.
So stumbling blocks can be stepping stones. Sort of
we've had a very dark week, but sometimes, some good can come out of very, very difficult times.
Yes, and people who are just a bit miserable, not necessarily people who, like yourself, had a real problem. If you're just a bit miserable, just suggest like something you can do today to make yourself a little bit less miserable.
Something you could do today is just, okay. Well, I think that a really big theme for me has been connecting with bigger things. So with nature, with animals, having a sense we're part of a bigger world. So I say the simplest thing possibly to do today is, even though it's dark and wet and it's not very nice, I'm not sure what your weather's like, but where I am.
It's like that, yeah.
Just allow yourself permission to just, on your walk, wherever you are, if you're out at lunchtime from work or whatever you're doing, go out there, try and get into a tiny bit of green, somewhere there'll be something green. Being in nature is very good for our mood. And then just find a lone flower. There'll be one somewhere, and just pause, give yourself that moment to stop, enjoy, and just breathe in and really enjoy the sensation in that moment. Appeal to all your senses, smell the flower, feel the flower, give yourself a little full stop, a pocket of peace in your day. And then I think, I don't know, for me, it makes me feel I reconnect, and I feel like I walk on sunshine when I just give myself permission to stop and stare.
Beautiful. Going to try it. Rachel, thank you ever so much for joining us. Do appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Rachel Kelly there, the author of Walking on Sunshine, 52 Small Steps to Happiness, which has become a big Christmas hit. Have you got your own small steps? There's one there from Rachel, just stopping in the middle of your walk, a little patch of green somewhere, and just finding a lone flower, just a lone flower. If you have your own recipe, I'd love to hear it.